You can go. Every year, from November 26th to January 24th, I get excited when I wake up in the mornings and when I go out in the evenings. Those are the open and closed dates for duck season. Missouri Conservation has issued those dates to harvest waterfowl in the South Zone. The South Zone is from southern Missouri down to Arkansas and then all the way through Arkansas and into Louisiana. There's many things that are really important you need to have while duck hunting. So I chose today to talk to you about the duck call, which I think is the most important thing to have while you're duck hunting. I'm going to talk to you about how the duck call is put together, and then I'm going to talk to you about how to make a soft quack and comeback call, and then I'm going to talk to you about how to do a feed call. This is your duck call. You have your barrel and your insert, and this little piece right here that I'm flicking is your reed, and this is your wedge. You take your insert and it goes into the barrel. Now once it's put together like this, as you can see, you want to grab the insert with your bottom hand. Not the top part, because if you try to blow into the top part, nothing comes out. So always grab it by the insert. Insert normally will be smaller than your barrel. Now that you know how the duck call goes and how to hold it, we'll talk to you about the soft quacks. Antonio Jones, two-time world champion duck caller for Echo Calls. He says there's several different styles to blow a duck call, such as your soft quack. You can do a ta-ta-ta-ta or ta-ta or ma-ma-hut. I like to do a zzz. There's no really like a word for it or letters. It's just zzz. And you can do the same thing but with a V, like demonstration. Just and I'm basically just blowing just like this in the back of the call, just and it makes that sound. Now your comeback call is a little bit more advanced. It's the exact same thing that you just done right there, but what you're going to do is you're going to do it over about between 6 and 8 notes, and it's going to sound like this. It's the same thing, just I'll do it in the back of the call. And with enough practice, it'll sound like this. Okay. Now the feed call is a lot more difficult than your soft quack or comeback call. It's actually pretty tough. There's several different ways, just like making a soft quack. You can do a digga digga digga, ticka 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 ticka, anything similar to that. To start out, you want to do just your normal feed call. You're just going to say digga 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 into the call. And it'll sound like this. Or ticka 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 ticka. The feed call, the slow feed call, you're just going to go real easy to start out, and it's going to sound like. And that's me just saying ta 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 ta. Then you have your rolling feed call. Your rolling feed call is the digga or the ticka ticka, but it's really fast. In the back of the call, it sounds like this. And then when you flip it over and blow it, and that's your feed call. To get the soft quacks, the comeback calls, or the feed calls, you're probably not going to be able to get it your first try or your first few tries. It's going to take lots of practice, but once you get the duck call, you know how to hold it now, you know which end to blow from. You just practice, and find what you like best. And whatever you like best, you stick with that. Once you know all three of those calls, you can do a cadence. Your cadence can be soft quacks into comeback call, or comeback call into soft quacks, or it can be your feed call into everything. But before I show you the cadence, I want to talk to you about those three calls. Your soft quack is just your regular mallard, just quack and say, hey, or what's going on. That's basically what they're saying. Your comeback call is when you got a lot of birds on the water and they see other birds flying in. When they fly in, they're going, meh, 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 which basically says, hey, come over here. We like it. It's safe over here. Your feed call is several ducks on the water just feeding, finding a whole bunch of stuff. If you get on rnt.com, they'll show you everything you need to know about feed calls, what it all means, and everything that goes more into detail. But now here's your cadence. I like to do a cadence that comes from Shelby Free. It's just a quack, comeback call, quack, and then she does a feed call with a quack into it, which is pretty difficult, but with a lot of practice you can figure it out, and it'll sound like this. That's just a cadence. It's used in competition calls, but they'll go a lot more into detail, and they'll do that for 2 minutes at least. But now that you know your soft quacks, comeback calls, your feed calls, you know a cadence, you know how to hold the call, hopefully you'll go get one and take it out to the woods once you've practiced enough and got it figured out. Thank you.